You know, when you walk into one of those industrial scale modern sports bars, you are immediately just like hit with this wall of perfectly synchronized, dazzling 4K light. It really feels like magic.
Oh, totally. You've got dozens of games playing at once, zero lag, total sensory immersion. It's basically the absolute definition of technological brute force disguised as entertainment.
Exactly. And to figure out how that illusion actually works, we are doing a deep dive today into something completely invisible. We pulled a single, honestly pretty mundane product listing from a sprawling AV retailer called HDTVSupply.
Right, because to understand the magic, you actually need to look at the exact opposite of a flashy 4K screen.
Yeah, we are looking at the Bolin Technology B-RM11. It's just a 19-inch dual rack mount, and it's built specifically for Bolin's D-series decoders, the D10H and the D20S.
And this thing is pretty cheap, right?
Yeah, it costs $69, weighs just 1.25 pounds, and right now the site has an inventory of exactly 25 units. On its face, it is literally just a metal bracket holding processors.
I kind of look at this rack mount like the chassis of a high-end sports car.
Oh, I like that analogy.
You know, everyone obsesses over the flashy engine like the screens and the fiber optic cables. But if that metal chassis doesn't organize the wires and, like, let the engine breathe, the whole system just overheats and shuts down.
Well, yeah, because in professional settings, physical organization is survival. I mean, you
Yeah.
cannot just stack these Bolin decoders on a random desk in a closet somewhere.
Definitely not.
They process immense amounts of data, and as a result, they generate significant heat. So they require that standardized 19-inch mounting to create dedicated channels for airflow.
Right, to keep things cool. Exactly. The servers pull cool air in through the front and push the hot air out the back. If a cheap bracket fails or a decoder isn't mounted correctly to vent that heat, the internal temperature spikes, the processor's throttle, and suddenly every screen in the building goes dark in the middle of a playoff game.
Which is just a total nightmare. So the physical design makes total sense. But looking closely at the actual product page, I got completely confused by how this thing is actually sold.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
Well, why does the listing for a literal piece of metal state that it, quote, ships with the latest firmware? Like, is there a microchip hidden in this steel bracket somewhere?
Oh, wow. No, there is absolutely zero computing power in that metal. What you are seeing there is just the automated nature of colossal e-commerce databases. When a retailer manages a catalog of like thousands of technical components, they use universal templates. So certain text fields, like firmware updates, just get automatically applied across an entire product category. The database doesn't actually distinguish between a complex decoder and the dumb metal bracket that just holds it.
That makes so much sense. But that automation leads to another baffling detail on the page. The math just doesn't add up at all.
Okay, lay on me.
So you can buy this mount for $69. Or you can click a little checkbox to add an $80 option to extend the warranty to 3 years. Why on earth would any buyer pay $80 to insure a $69 piece of steel?
I mean, if you look at how commercial AV installers actually operate, the logic completely flips. The cost of downtime for them is just astronomically high.
Right, lost revenue, angry fans.
Exactly. If a sports bar loses its video feed during the Super Bowl, they don't just lose the game, they lose thousands in immediate food and beverage revenue, plus long-term reputation. Corporate buyers aren't going down a 500-item invoice deciding which individual items need insurance.
They just buy it all.
Yeah, they will blindly purchase extended warranties on the entire cart to cover every single component. They're buying system-wide peace of mind because the labor cost of sending a technician out to even diagnose a failure is way higher than that $80 premium.
Oh, wow. That completely changes the perspective. And when you zoom out to the labyrinthine scale of the store selling this HDTVSupply, that system-wide approach becomes crystal clear. I'm looking through this source, and it's basically the Costco of sports bar infrastructure.
Totally. I mean, they've been around for 25 years, boast over 10,000 positive reviews, and their equipment catalog is just endless.
Right, and that catalog provides the context for where our little 1.25-pound mount actually lives. HDTVSupply is selling these massive Wolfpack modular matrix switchers right alongside these brackets.
And those are no joke. Some of those switchers handle up to 160 by 160 inputs and outputs.
Wait, hold on. For someone who, isn't an AV engineer, what does 160 by 160 actually mean in practice?
So it basically means a bartender can take 160 different video sources, like satellite receivers, streaming boxes, local cameras, and instantly route any game to any of 160 different TVs.
Just from one simple touchscreen.
Exactly. The switcher is the brain directing all the traffic, and those Bolin decoders translate the signal for the screens. You are looking at an infrastructure designed to run a small stadium, all housed in a single rack.
160 TVs running simultaneously off one system. It really shows you how even the cheapest accessory is this critical load-bearing wall in this colossal technological tapestry.
Yeah, every single piece relies entirely on the one next to it.
So for you listening, the next time you sit down in a venue surrounded by dozens of perfectly synced screens, take a sip of your drink and just appreciate the invisible hardware making it possible. But it really makes you wonder, what other invisible $69 pieces of hardware are quietly holding together the rest of our digital world? From the servers running our banks to the life-saving monitors in our hospitals, how much of our modern infrastructure relies entirely on a cheap piece of metal hiding in a dark closet?